trucks crumbled at the bottom of the cliff, and even in the rivers from the result of falling rocks. I realised then that we were in dangerous territory. After 11 hours and twists and turns of the mountain road, we finally arrived in the township of Manali. It's about 2,200 metres above sea level, and it's at this moment that I'd love to show you some of the slides. Okay, so this is New Delhi. This is just looking outside of our hotel. So we see a tuk-tuk and we see a few things. I think there's a few cows in the background there as well. Okay, this is Manali. This is the place which is around about 2,200 metres above sea level. As you can see, it's quite beautiful. Right there it's quite misty, damp, and we had to struggle with the weather, which I'll go into a little bit later. Okay, this is somewhat half a road, but anyway, it just gives you an example of the territory there. It's very sparse. As you can see, there are no trees on the mountain. There's no shelter, there's no buildings. There is nothing. Not even a blade of grass on the mountain, just rocks, dust, dirt, and that's about it. But it's a beautiful country. Okay, there's some of us there, just to show you that we actually did do mountain biking there in India. So there's a pack of us there. I'm sort of leading there with sort of at the back there actually. So anyway, we were a great crowd. There were 6 of us, and this was going up to one of the mountains. Just gives you an idea that this was the crowd I was with. Okay, this is another shot. Unfortunately, we can't see all of it, but it just gives you an idea of the terrain that we're up against. It's absolutely beautiful. This is on a nice day, as compared to a bad day. Okay, unfortunately, also, I don't know what's wrong with these photos, but anyway, here, supposed to be a truck, around about here. And this was a road over here. And the distance was about, well, it's about 250 metres. And anyway, you're probably wondering how it actually ended up in the middle of the river. And so I'll show the next slide. And this is why. If you can see on your far left-hand side there's a rock, and there's someone trying to dig underneath it there. That is huge. And the reason that the truck that you can see on the last slide was in the middle of the river is because the weather was so damp and so nasty that the soil used to just let itself go. And everything else on top of the soil, because it was so damp, everything else used to come down and hit anything that was on the road. So it hit the truck, beamed it off the road, and it ended up in the middle of the river. And that's why. And that's about it. Okay. So I'll continue on. So due to the weather, we're stuck in Manali for about 3 days due to torrential rainfall. The conditions were wet, muddy and damp, misty, but we were keen to get on our bikes and start to tour this beautiful country. On the 4th day we headed out to our next destination on our bikes, which is in Kosar, which is about 71 kilometres away from Manali. Now Kosar is about 3,250 metres above sea level, and we would need to cross a mountain pass to arrive at the top. It was raining lightly, but we had decent equipment and clothing to resist the wet weather, so our tour guide allowed us to begin our ride. So off we went. We're on our bikes for approximately 5 hours, enjoying the sights and each other's company, but we were completely wet through from the rain during the trip, and we started to get cold as we climbed higher in the altitude. Have you ever been up in the mountains and no matter what you were wearing, it was freezing cold, and you were skiing, and no matter what you did, you were still feeling pretty cold? Well, actually, we were like that. We were cold, damp, we just wanted to get to the next destination. So we found ourselves in that situation. So we're keen to get to the top. To give you some perspective, I'll show you the next slide.